G'day and welcome back to Outback Action Figures for another Top 3 Thursday countdown. Now obviously as you can see here, today we're doing Top 3 Spider-Man figures. Now Spider-Man's just such a cool character, he's got an awesome look whether it's the classic red and blue or basically any other variation we've got here. Now there's so many others I could have chosen from as well, but these are just some of the main ones I've got on my own personal collection at the moment. And as is the case with all of these Top 3 Thursdays, these are not necessarily the best of whatever category. I'm not saying these are the best Spider-Man figures ever, but I'm just choosing my top 3, my favourites basically, out of the ones that I've got here. Now we've already seen the Spider-Punk here. I displayed him, I think it was actually in the very first top 3 episode. There's so many other awesome versions here as well. Tons of others that I couldn't even fit in, like heaps of others that I don't even have, plus a bunch of other ones that I do. Anyway, long story, Spider-Man, he's a cool character, and he's obviously a big deal because the new movie has just come out, so today felt like a brand new day to take a look at some of my favourite Spider-Man figures. So, we'll kick things off with number 3. So, to kick off the list here, we've got Cyborg Spider-Man. Now, this design just screams 90s. It's obviously the classic red and blue suit, but then we've got just random bits added on. Like, we have a bandage around his leg here, there's a bandana around his head, there's a cyborg eye added on. If we look right up close there, we've got a few stitching sort of bits across the top of his head. The main difference, of course, he has this big cyborg arm as well. And the utility belt added around the waist there too. So, yeah, it's just a very 90s design. It's a cool look for him. Like I said, it's the classic red and blue, but just with a few extras. The main difference, of course, being the cyborg arm here and the extra eye. Look, I'll be totally honest, I haven't read any of the storylines with him in it. I just love the way it looks. The actual figure itself is slightly outdated now. It does still have the pins in the joints, especially here where you can see, the red plastic sticking through there where the blue arm is. So, it's good for what it is. It represents the character in a decent way. But like most characters, we could do with an upgrade for him. So, he's not desperately at the top of everyone's list, I guess. But yeah, he would be definitely an awesome figure to get an updated version with some new, some of the new pinless technology, for example. But anyway, yeah, I just think he looks cool. Like I said, yeah, just very typical 90s design. Just make everything extreme. Everyone gets a robot arm. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for number 3. I just think he looks cool, and he's one of the favourites that I've got from my collection. So, moving on, let's check out number 2. Alright, next up, here we have the Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, aside from his classic red and blue, I would say this is pretty much his most iconic look. Again, I've said before, I love the Venom suit design, and this is basically where it originated from. So, the classic black and white symbiote suit for Spider-Man. There's really not much more I can say about it. It's an awesome design. It's the classic, silhouette of Spider-Man. The big eye lenses on the front there, the spider logo on his chest. It's that sort of slender but still quite muscular body, very athletic looking, but just done in a plain black and white design. And yeah, I think it looks fantastic. Like I said, pretty much one of the most iconic suit designs ever for him, besides his traditional red and blue, I'd say. Yeah. This one is fantastic. It's another awesome figure. It's a couple years old now, so again, we could use an update. Wouldn't say no. I think they may have done another one somewhat recently. There's been plenty of different versions. I think some of them are meant to represent the actual symbiote version of this suit. Some of them are just when he made just a regular cloth costume that was black and white like this. I think they've done a version of the black suit like this from the video game as well. Anyway, yeah, there's been plenty of versions of it. They all look pretty awesome, but yeah, I love this design. It's iconic, and yeah, it's a fantastic figure. So he is my number 2 pick. Now let's finally get to number 1. Alright, now to wrap this up, for number 1, we have here the Superior Spider-Man suit. Now, I forget the exact details of how it all went down, but this is basically where the spirit of Doc Ock, Otto Octavius, was inhabiting the body of Peter Parker, and he's basically, he's decided, well, I'm going to be a better version of Spider-Man than you ever were, so he calls himself the Superior Spider-Man. That's where we've got, the extra arms on the back here, somewhat reminiscent of Doc Ock's tentacle arms, but, they've got, obviously, these extra big, I think, Waldos for some reason. I have no idea why that they are called that, but yeah, the extra arms attached on the back here just add a massive shelf presence to him. You spot him from a mile away, basically. If you put him on any sort of display, even amongst other Spider-Man characters, he's going to stand out. Like I said, yeah, just has massive shelf presence with this design. And one of the other really cool things, it's very subtle, but if you look right up close, I'll see if I can get this on the camera, but the eye lenses there actually have like little reflections of buildings sort of painted in them. So like he's swinging through the city and seeing that reflection in the lenses. So like I said, very subtle thing, but I've never seen that on any other Spider-Man figure. Well, any figure really. I can't think of any that do that. But yeah, it was just such a cool little design choice. It's, you know, again, it's a subtle thing they've done, but it's just really cool. Little details like that are just such a cool thing when they add them in. Like, yeah, they didn't have to. They could have just left them plain white or make them silver or something like that, but it's just a really cool addition. Adds that little extra detail, and it just looks fantastic. Now, the webbing design on this is all asymmetrical as well. It just adds that sort of different flavor, I guess you could say, of this version of Spider-Man. And as I've said before, you know, I'm talking about Harley Quinn and Deadpool, for example, on one of my previous episodes. I love red and black outfits, and so this one is just perfect. It looks fantastic. The extra arms are really cool. They're all posable as well. You can move them around. They've got, what, like 1, 2, 3, 4 different joints along there that you can adjust. I have seen there's a few third-party companies recently, like I think CT Toys and possibly Mess Toys. There's a bunch of them out there that have been doing other sort of unlicensed third-party versions of a bunch of Spider-Man characters, and I'm pretty sure one of those did a version of this, the Superior Spider-Man suit as well, which looks pretty cool. I haven't got my hands on any of those yet. I don't know if I will. You know, it's a little tricky, the whole third-party thing, because, like I said, they are unlicensed. No, anyway, we're not here for that. Not going to get into that whole argument now. The whole thing is, I love this design. It looks awesome, and so he is my number 1 pick for this week. So, there we go. That's my top 3 Spider-Man figures for this week. Now, this was a tough one. There really is just so many cool options for him. You'll notice I didn't go with the classic red and blue. While that is obviously the most iconic look for him, it does look awesome, but I love these versions even better. And I mean, the Cyborg Spider-Man is basically the classic red and blue anyway, just with some extra details added on. But anyway, yeah, like I said, there's so many good options. This might actually be the first category where we have to come back and do a part 2 at some point, because there really is just so many awesome ones to choose from. But for now, these are my top 3 Spider-Man figures. Now, I know there are tons of different versions, like I said, and I'm sure everyone has their own opinions on which one they like best. So, please, leave a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. I always appreciate any feedback, so if you agree with my list, if you think I'm totally wrong, I'm open to any sort of suggestions at all, please let me know. If you like what you see here, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. I always appreciate any support, so thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week for more Top 3 Thursday. Cheers! See ya!